Opening shot, the Eastern Shadow. In the year 1189, the world of Christendom faced a turning of fate it could never have foreseen. Across the Levant, under the black banners of Sultan Tariq, the armies of the Crescent began a march that would shake kingdoms, topple cities, and drown entire regions in fire and blood. Villages burned. Families fled across dust-choked roads. Livestock screamed and scattered. And in the midst of the chaos rode Sir Roland de Clermont, armor bruised, sword still red from the fighting in the east. Roland, voiceover excerpt from his account: every horizon carries smoke. Every morning begins with fear. We retreat, but there is no refuge. Refugees and survivors. Behind the soldiers came the civilians, thousands of them. Mothers guiding children barefoot over broken stones. Old men limping with staffs. Wagons overturned, belongings scattered, homes abandoned to flames. Among them walked Lady Eleanor of Alls, her dress stained with blood and ash, carrying a wounded boy in her arms. "Eleanor, do not look back," she told him. "There is nothing there now." Small acts of humanity survived amid ruin: a shepherd giving his mule to a mother, a young knight carrying a wounded stranger, priests blessing those too injured to move. The Pass of Galilee, a deadlock. Their first major stand came at the Pass of Galilee, a narrow gorge where the defenders hoped terrain might do what numbers could not. The Christian line held the heights. The Sultan's infantry pressed from below. Boiling oil rained from cliffs, boulders crashed down, arrows filled the sky. For 3 days, neither side advanced. By the end, the pass was choked with bodies. The living withdrew not out of victory, but because the ground itself could no longer hold them. Brother Thomas, the pass was claimed only by the dead. The siege of Jerusalem, fire over the holy city. Jerusalem's walls rose tall against the desert wind, but they could not withstand the onslaught forever. Trebuchets hurled flaming stones. Siege towers creaked forward, wrapped in soaked hides to resist fire. Homes behind the walls collapsed. Markets burned. Smoke rolled through every alley and courtyard. Inside the city, Lady Eleanor tended to the wounded in the ruins of a monastery. "Eleanor, we cannot bury them. There is no ground left untouched by blood." Sir Roland led desperate street-to-street resistance. Shields shattered. Streets turned to mud mixed with ash and gore. Families hid wherever stones still stood. When the walls finally broke, fighting erupted through every gate. Small pockets of resistance held through the night, but at dawn, Jerusalem fell. The holy city burned beneath a red sky. Acre, the harbor of smoke. Next came Acre, surrounded by fire ships drifting into the harbor. Wooden masts snapped, flaming debris crashed into the sea. Arrows hissed from both sides. Streets filled with terrified civilians seeking shelter as defenders fought in tight, suffocating alleys. Sir Roland's record: the markets are rivers of blood. Horses fall screaming. We fight on, though each step forward is taken over the fallen. Even as the Crescent pushed deeper into the city, small groups of knights bought precious minutes for families to escape to boats or flee into the hills. Meriden, a lone defense. Far to the north stood the Tower of Maridun, a lone fortress controlling a narrow mountain pass. Here, the Christians achieved a rare victory. 3 times the enemy stormed the walls. 3 times they were thrown back, leaving the slopes red and littered with shields and spears. Refugees watched from the ridges, hope flickering in eyes dulled by weeks of terror. Brother Thomas, the stones of Maridun ran with blood, yet they held. And for a time, so did we. The field of Almar, a costly Christian triumph. On the broad plains of Almar, Christian cavalry thundered into the Sultan's lines in a desperate attempt to halt the advance deeper into the north. Arrows fell in black clouds. Lances shattered on impact. Men were trampled into the earth. Horses collapsed from exhaustion and wounds. By sunset, the Christians held the field, but not their strength. "Roland, we stand," but each victory takes more of us than we can spare. Rome, a victory built from ruins. Far west, beyond mountains and plains, Rome prepared for its darkest hours. Siege engines battered its ancient walls, fires swallowed entire districts. Families fled from collapsing homes, carrying what little they could. Twice the Sultan's forces stormed the gates. Twice they were repelled. But Rome's victory was carved from ruin. Cardinal Alaric, the city breathes, but only just. Our triumph is measured not in glory, but in the number who remain alive. Sir Roland, weary and scarred, surveyed the hills. Roland, they will return. This peace is but a stall in an unending storm. Life amid the bloodshed. Between these battles, the world was shaped not by generals, but by survivors. Children scavenged among the remains of burned homes. Women washed wounds in muddy streams. Priests whispered final blessings to the dying in the shade of shattered walls. Lady Eleanor and Sir Guillaume moved among the weak, carrying water, tearing cloth for bandages, comforting the frightened. Eleanor, each life saved is a victory no enemy can take from us. Guillaume, then we win today, and lose none tomorrow. The aftermath, shadow over Christendom. Across the lands of the west and the east, the marks of war lay everywhere, fields trampled to dust, wells fouled, villages hollowed, and cities scarred with fire. Some battles were won. Others held in stalemate. Most were lost. But the truest story of this reversed crusade is not written in victories or failures, but in the endurance of its survivors.